Hey everybody, this is Wendy, and I'm here with
Mikey.
And this is episode 61 of eBay Scavengers, Learning to Turn Trash to Cash. This part of our podcast is where we chat about what's going on in our store this week. And Mikey, why don't you get us started?
Well, we've had some pretty interesting experiences. Wendy's been traveling throughout California, and I've been at home kind of managing our eBay store while she's out of town, and I haven't been listing a whole lot, but what happened while Wendy was out of town is we sold two big items, and we've talked about this before. I sold a head-mounted display and a wallet, and the combined value of the two was about $4,500, and we sold them, I think, within a day of each other. And the problem we had is I went to go ship these items, and I learned a lot really fast about shipping very expensive items through the postal system. So I wanted to talk about that this week.
So what happened? So I want to just point out, by the way, even though I have been traveling, I have been shipping home boxes from yard sales full of cool stuff. Like this week, I found an original R2-D2 robot missing his remote control, but cool as hell nonetheless. Anyway, I've been working even though I'm on the road. Yeah. So let's talk about those. So what happened when you went to insure or make yourself comfortable with shipping such high-value goods? Well,
I want to point out that there is a magic number when you're shipping products. And it doesn't matter how you're shipping it, but as soon as you start to ship something over $2,500 out of this country, you have a whole new issue to deal with. In fact, I should just change that to as soon as you ship something that's $2,500 anywhere, in the country or outside, you are in another world of forms. You are in another world of printing. eBay will actually block you from printing the postage on it. And you have to fill out one of three different forms. There's all these three-letter acronyms, and it doesn't matter which one, but you have to start declaring the value and what you have, and it becomes another type of item.
Well, so let's start with the that headset that you sold. Mm-hmm. So that was going to Israel, and it actually came back.
Yeah. So what happened is I overnighted the headset to Israel. I paid about almost $100 between shipping and insurance for this really light item to go to Israel that fast using USPS, and it was returned to me. I couldn't get any of it refunded, not through USPS at least, and they said I didn't fill out the right form. So Customs had blocked it and sent it right back to me. So it took about 8 days for it to get back, and the customer was being really cool. He wasn't freaking out or anything, but we were both watching the tracking, and it was a real, disappointment. So I managed to get Stamps.com, who printed that postage.
Well, was that the case? Had you failed to print out a necessary form?
Yeah, and it would really, I attribute it to a bug with Stamps.com. Because for someone who prints shipping all the time, I had no idea that there was a $2,500 mark where you have to have additional forms, and Stamps.com doesn't tell you. Whereas eBay blocks you and says, you can't print this here, you need additional forms. Mm-hmm. So I told Stamps.com, you need to change your interface. This is a bug. You need to notify people when they're printing out shipping labels of this value. Because I'm insured through them, they know exactly the value of the contents. And,
did they reply?
They agreed. They gave me half back.
They did?
Yeah.
That's really interesting. And now how was your seller about that? Because it's his expense too. He's paying the shipping.
Right. So the seller basically said, look, I like UPS as a carrier. So instead of using the post office, use UPS. And I said, okay. So we paid basically $170 in shipping and had it overnighted through UPS.
And he actually paid that first mistake plus this.
Yeah. Let's see. He had to pay the difference. So in the end, I ate like $40.
That's a good buyer.
Yeah. He's a good buyer. But, it's an expensive item. It's hard to get. So he was willing to work with me. And he gave us positive feedback. So that all worked out. But big lesson is when you have an item over $2,500, it's a whole different postal process. You cannot do business as you've always done it. So, good thing to know. The other thing is we had a $1,500 wallet that sold, the Louis Vuitton that went to Australia, and I want to just mention that one, I did it right. It wasn't such an expensive item, so there was no additional forms.
Yeah, it was.
Well, it's $1,500. It's not $2,500.
Okay,
so it didn't break that barrier. It just went into a padded flat rate envelope, so the shipping was really minimal, and I insured it.
And you insured it for its full value?
I don't think I get full. I think I insured it for $1,000. That's all you can do without going into a whole nother world of craziness. So
yeah, but that's interesting too. You can't insure it, at its proper level without amping up like the crap you have to do.
Right.
Wow. So two big items, and really you work for your money a little bit.
You do, and it's stressful. You're like, well, I hope this gets there. I hope they like it. I hope we don't have to do a refund.
Right.
So that it's a lot of running around, and you have to offer a whole nother level of customer service, like very rapid rapid response and communication and more tracking, and
Right.
it was
But that's
very
the game
weird.
when you're making more money per item and you're getting into the expensive goods. It may be a little bit more headache and like, reasonably so.
Yeah. So that was most of my eBay madness over the last few weeks, and I just want to add that I've been talking to eBay a lot still.
I know. So did we talk a little about this on our last podcast? It was
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
yeah, we did a hangout. Let's just review for those who are just tuning in. So we did a hangout, which is we got on Hangout with a bunch of friends and we used what interface?
Google Hangout.
Oh, it was Google Hangout. And it was a bunch of eBay sellers all sitting in their respective living rooms on a Saturday listing together, which was so crazy fun. You'll have to listen to that podcast to get the details. But anyway, during that time, Ryan noticed, hey guys, you have subtitle activated, but you're not using it. We took a look back at eBay, and sure enough, we're paying like $1.50 for every listing that had that.
So this had been going on for a while, and we just had a template we kept cloning and having the same subtitle issue pop up. So $1.50 over months, and it turned into $435 in eBay fees that we weren't even noticing.
Well, and now since we have covered this in a previous podcast, to make it short, eBay was really great, and they were like, yeah, you're right. We're going to help you out. But, how many times have you called eBay this week?
So I've had about 7 calls with eBay, and each call is a little bit of a process to get them on the phone and
Sure.
to go over the issue, and for whoever who answered to catch up with what's going on. So it's pretty time consuming, and they've issued us about $285 of the refund. Why didn't they issue us the full refund? I don't know.
But they did approve us for it. So
Yeah.
where are you at with it now?
They just keep calling them every other day.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to keep calling.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that they approved it, and it's good that they started to give us a refund, but it's
we're
not
gonna have to
done.
stay on it. Let's switch to a lighter subject since we just talked about 2 difficult things.
Yeah.
One of our favorite things that we sell, we love to come across it, is what we call medical quackery. Sometimes we call it woo-woo medicine. So these are things like personal ionizers that you wear around your neck on a rope, and it's supposed to charge the atmosphere around you.
Well, the one that we recently sold was like a light device, where it's a light that you plug in and, put on, I guess, glasses, and just it like warms you.
Now this was, you have to get a little into the description. This is a really special item. I picked it up in Fort Collins, Colorado at a going out of business antique store. And I got it for like $3 or $4. This is a like big old box with a big old metal latch and a big old like Bakelite handle. And in the box is like this crazy silk lined custom foam body that fits this ridiculously overbuilt, humongous plastic box with a great looking like meter. It looks like, something you'd see in like a lab where Edward Scissorhands and
It's a little bit of steampunk.
Young Frankenstein would work. Yeah.
It's a little bit of vintage. It's
Right.
a little bit
The
of...
cord was cloth. The electric cord was cloth covered.
Yeah.
It had what looked like an old 1920s microphone, but it was emitting light that's supposed to make you healthy. Anyway, I bought it for like $4. We sold it for $200.
$200.
Nicely
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, they didn't even do best offer on it. I don't know why. But anyway, so that's sold and shipped today, and that's kind of cool.
That's going to show up at Burning Man or somewhere cool.
So that was a fun device, and that was our big sale for the week. So something else, going back to some gloomy stuff, is our store is a mess. Like, for us to get in and navigate and find things now, we go in and we kind of find stuff.
You mean our storage?
Yeah, our storage for our store.
I'd like to speak on why it's a mess. I go away, everything's like sort of in categories and I know where to find them, and I come home and it's like somebody just put the blender on in there and didn't put anything away for the whole time I was gone.
Yeah.
So you're complaining about something you caused.
Yeah, it's been declining for a while, and I think it's just making me even sloppier about it. So I need a day of just organizing stuff into new boxes, putting them back on the shelf a little cleaner.
I should say we have a little bit of an OCD syndrome in my house, which is hard when you have an eBay store because, it just breaks all those boundaries down. I'm sorry that you're disoriented. It would help greatly if you put things away. Let's move on.
So we haven't been listing a lot. I've put up maybe 20 items in the last 2 weeks. So for us, that's super low listing volume. And I feel it in our sales that we're really not getting the kind of sales that we
especially
used to.
during this active buying season.
Yeah, they're just trickling in. And if we were listing heavier, we'd be selling other stuff that we've had in our store for a while. So it's kind of a bummer we're not listing more right now.
But I am shipping stuff from the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we got more merch coming in for sure.
We got more merch.
And we got to shove it in a little room.
I found some great, as I was saying, R2-D2 robot, and then I found another, like, plastic, classic 70s robot.
You're getting good clothes. You're coming back with some really good clothes.
Those I don't resell, though. This is how I shop. Yeah. Instead of going to stores and spending big money, I go to yard sales and spend small money. Small. I know.
So, for us, we've had a special occasion this week, and we have finally surpassed the 1,000 feedback mark.
Woo!
So what that means is we have over 1,000 feedback score. So when people look us on eBay and see our score's over 1,000, and that took a while for us to earn. I mean, we've been seriously eBaying for over 18 months, and we were starting not at zero, but a pretty low.
So do we get to be like a power seller?
Here's what I thought. I thought nothing would happen. I thought eBay would just ignore it and no one would say anything. And then all of a sudden, a couple days ago, eBay writes us, said, you get a red star. Because we broke 1,000 for our feedback, and they did something else. Oh, they send you a special mail and make a big deal about the 1,000 mark. And I didn't think they'd do anything, because I was looking forward to this too. And then,
I want a little bit, this is cool, but I kind of want a cupcake.
Yeah, me too. I want a cupcake.
Let's call eBay and tell them we need a cupcake.
Let's just go buy a cupcake.
I want it from eBay.
Yeah. An eBay cupcake.
It doesn't matter if I buy it myself. I buy it from them.
It'll be like a yard sale cupcake. Yeah, so that's what's been going on. We've been shipping. Wendy's been finding stuff on the road. And really, we got to get to listing next week.
We do. And I stopped traveling next week, so it's all good.
Yeah, we can go back and focus a little bit more.
And we should say, when we do list, we have a little race going on here. We have a couple races I'll let you in on because they're kind of funny. One is really a contest. What's the weirdest thing you can sell? Mm-hmm. Right? Mikey and I have been doing this for a while. And just to give you the flavor of how our contest looks, you first started as the winner by selling empty pharmacy bottles.
Oh, yeah. I found 20 empty pharmaceutical bottles at the thrift store. I sold them as a lot together, and they went to Sweden for $40.
That was amazing.
Yeah. No one thought those would sell.
I picked up, while walking by the lake, some driftwood. And I said, I think there's an aquarium that needs this. And you said, no way. And then I sold it.
Yep. Found a stick on the ground and sold it.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. My best of all, though, I feel like the real breakthrough was when I started selling empty boxes.
You had me on the empty box. And I thought you're the guy, right? You're the winner forever.
Uh-huh.
But Jay and Ryan are selling single shoes for amputees.
That was a good one.
Really, who could beat this?
Right.
Not me.
Well, I feel like maybe you could sell half a shoe for someone who's got a half a foot.
Oh boy, it's getting dark. Very dark in here. So where are we at with our eBay store? We're in a season. This is the big buying season. We're coming off a weird year of travel and disruptions. I feel like I want to say that I want to see if I could double what my store has done in its best months this year.
This year, you're going to go for it.
I want to go for it. Because I know you can.
All right, so we have something that limits us from just going big, and we don't have the storage space for it.
Bolo ties and belt buckles, buddy.
We could do it small, but the reality is we go to yard sales and we see a $50 magazine rack. And that's what we know we can get for it is $50, and it costs a quarter. How can we turn that down?
Well, I think these are questions everybody has to answer for themselves about eBay stores. We know people who've moved out of their house to give the house over to storage.
Right. Well, that was the last episode.
And that's where you got to do the math and say, hey, if I have a shipping container dropped off in my yard to become my storage, and that's $2,000, how long will it take me to make that back? How much can it increase my ability? I also think, maybe like some of you listeners, our store is 18 months or so old, right?
Yep.
And we have a lot of dumb stuff that we listed way back when, probably listed poorly, probably isn't priced right. And we would probably benefit from time going through those listings and sharpening them up and deleting some and, moving some crap out to the local consignment store.
Yeah, my feeling for us is if we really wanted to grow our store quickly, we would bring in a contractor to build a post and beam structure outside that is below code requirements, like 170 square feet,
right,
which is most areas. If it's a small enough structure, you don't have to do any code permitting. And just say, build this out of wood, build it in a week. Here's our new storage area that's 170 square feet outside. Yeah.
I'm surprised you would say that, knowing that shipping containers don't need to be built.
You got code issues. You go to bring in a shipping container, the neighbors will be like, oh, I don't know. The inspector's like, I don't know. Like, it's a little more difficult. We've done it before, and they were a little reluctant. They're like, I don't want you to have a yard full of shipping containers.
Yeah, a compound. Well, these are the questions, guys, and most people I know who have pioneered the space of eBay and done well always end up in this conversation, which is, how are we going to store all this stuff?
We're going to end up buying an empty house.
If you guys have any good suggestions, do let us know on our blog, ebayscavengers.com. Mm-hmm. We are always happy to hear from you and happy to address your questions on a future podcast. So let us know what's up in your world. I think that's it for today, Mikey, yeah?
All right, that's it. Oh, and we should tell them about the next episode, episode 62. You're interviewing your old friend Jody.
Yeah, so next up, my best friend from 4th grade. We come from a pretty commodified culture in Long Island, and I think, as you'll hear her talk about, we both benefited from the exposure, if not the direct participation in middle-class America, when there was a middle class, because we learned about brands, we learned about quality goods. And anyway, that turned out pretty valuable. Jody's super great, super fun. She's an LA mom, so give a listen.